Hi, this is Cameron Romero, director of the screening and Staunton Hill, and you're on Dread Central.
Dread Central.
Hey everybody, Steve Uncle Creepy Barton for Dread Central, and today we're here with one of the stars of The Ruins, Joe Anderson. Let's talk a little bit about The Ruins. So it comes out on DVD, Tuesday, and it'll be out by the time people hear this. And what an amazing little movie, and what a movie for you. You go from the jungles of Vietnam and across the universe to another jungle that's just as dangerous, if not a little more.
Yeah, a little strange.
So did you read the book?
It was, yeah, I did. I forgot, and until I realized that, Matthias wasn't, the same thing wasn't happening to him as it should have done in the book. And we by that time we were too busy. We were into shooting, so I got about, halfway through. But it's weird. It's when you're working on something like that, it changes all the time, and you're getting new pages thrust at you, and so you just work with what you've got in your hand and know the story in your head, and so you just be more loose that way, and more free to fuck about, so to speak. So I don't know, the book sort of, after a while, didn't bear any relevance to what we were doing, so to speak.
Now, you went through some pretty extraordinary effects.
Yeah, they were fun. They were kind of, they took a while to make, and it was fun watching them being made, and sort of getting excited, and waiting for the day that I could actually use these legs and this whole rig. So that was pretty, and also, dropping down that shaft, doing the stunt down the shaft. I think they dropped me 5 meters.
So you did the stunt yourself?
Yeah, which feels like you're on a cable, you're hooked up on a cable system. It's the best fun in the world. I mean, they pull you up and then they just release it, and you free fall for about 5 meters, I think it was, and then it sort of kicks into this mechanism that slows you down. But 5 meters feels like 500 feet. It's kind of it feels huge.
So let's talk a little bit about the day you had your legs removed. What was it like on set?
It was a bit weird. I remember somebody had brought their kid to set, and I remember that sort of lying in this hole, looking the way I did, and this kid walking up, rounding the corner, coming round someone, and just doing a full 180 and turning and walking right back, completely off. I just can't remember whose kid it was, but it was them. And I just thought, oh, fuck, it was a bit intense. My throat hurt a lot from all the sort of screaming, and you can hear my drama teacher now saying, "You weren't supporting, darling. You should have been supporting your breath."
How long were you on the floor for? Like, how many takes was that?
Just for the amputation was 2 days, I think we did, maybe.
And as a whole, you were on your back almost the entire shoot, huh?
Yeah. It was, in fact, I had to sort of go to the gym a lot and work with someone just to stay supple, because it was, my legs disappeared.
See, I'm sure nobody would think that you'd actually have to go to the gym to lay down.
Yeah. I know, right?
Usually people equate the gym with moving around, but I guess, there's some type of exercise for everything.
Oh, this actor is having a hard time. He's having to lie down all day. There's a gym. Yeah, it's typical, isn't it?
I bet you on paper you were like, all right, that's pretty fucking bitchin'.
That's fine. Yeah. I mean, it was weird, actually. It didn't really hit me until I got there and got in the hole. And I had to lie there. I was like, I'm here for like 6 weeks.
So, here's a movie. When I went to go see The Ruins in the theater, I think the biggest compliment I could give it is when it came down to your scene and the banging of the rock and the snapping of the bone, 3 people got up and left.
Yeah. A guy passed out in the front row.
Really?
Yeah, when I went to see it, I was working, so I'd missed the premieres and the screening, so I hadn't seen it, and I took my dad and the guy, my neighbor, who's a med student, and this guy just dropped in the front row. He was like face first off his
Did you run over and be like, look, dude, it's just a movie, I'm fine?
No, I got a couple of, you still got your legs, you know. But yeah, no, I mean, I was kind of glad actually to that response. I mean, you know, at least it's working on that level, and it's shocking enough, I suppose.
So what'd your dad think? You said you took him.
He was an actor, but he can't stand. In fact, he watched it. I think he was sitting in the med student's lap. Like he can't take suspense, and so he was freaking out a bit.
So interesting point. I mean, you said you went with your neighborhood, I believe, who's a med student.
Yeah.
And the character who actually took your legs off, if I'm not mistaken, he was a med student as well, correct?
Yes.
Now, did your friend agree with his diagnosis to remove your legs?
I think he did, but he sort of said, "Is he a psycho?" And I said, "Yeah, no, I think he might be a little bit." But it was quite extra. It's quite a bold decision, to be honest. But there was something weird about the way Jonathan did it. He sort of had, there were a couple of moments where you thought, "Oh, fucking hell, dude, that's a bit much." And like, are you all there? You know. And I especially remember filming it. There were some darker takes from him, and I thought, you know, he's actually enjoying this, which was kind of weird. But yeah, I don't know. Psycho.
Now, there's been a little bit of talk about Ruins 2 that I've heard some underground chatter. Do you think this is a movie that needs a sequel? Should it stay on its own?
Yeah, but yeah, and I think with the Greeks, right? That they come back. And,
Mm-hmm.
no, I don't think they should do. I don't ever think they should do sequels. Really, I'm not a big sequel fan. Just like the one-off. You know, I don't know. Have you really heard that? Are they really going?
Yeah, well, anytime anything even makes a little bit of money in Hollywood, there's talk of a sequel.
Yeah.
Because who doesn't want to bank on something that they consider to be okay? Well, at the very least, they're direct to video, so who knows? But I'd expect.
Well, they don't need to be in it for one shot. I think is that when they find dead material.
Yeah, or just chunks of you.
It's just chunks of me.
Now, the DVD itself has 3 different endings on it.
That's awesome. I knew they shot. I knew they shot a bunch, and there was sort of debate as to what they were going to be. So I'm glad they were on there because I think some are more interesting than others, depending on how you've viewed the film. If you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What you pick up on.
Now, did you read the book till the end? Did you read the end of the book? Did you get?
Oh, no, I didn't. I read it about halfway through until it started to waver greatly from being able to help me, so to speak. And then I sort of stopped. It's funny because, like, really, when you're doing it, you're there, you're doing it, and there's not a lot of what you draw from is the script and how you're shooting it, and that script's also kind of dependent on how you're going to be shooting it. So what do you have to execute in how many eighths of a page? If this bit, in my head I thought that this part where we're walking through the woods is going to be so much longer because it reads that way, or in the book, but not necessarily in the movie. They're going to be shooting it like this. So if you had any ideas to get in that part of the movie, you've now got to think differently and maybe put them in somewhere else because you're not going to have enough time. So you end up following the script rather than the book, and the people's characters come out as you're face to face with people. So it doesn't matter what Amy's like in the book. Amy is Amy, and she's sitting there in front of me. So I don't need, I don't know. It's a choice of if it was something, if it was a Hamlet, or if it was I don't know, if it was something that had been read so extensively and over and over and over and over again by millions of people, then of course you do the research, but you want a certain amount of freedom to be able to be pliable.
I think we call that artistic license.
Yeah, that old chestnut. Yep. Yep.
Well, hey, man, I think we're just about out of time. Thanks so much for giving us a little bit of a chat.
No worries, buddy. Thank you.
All right, man. Take care.
Yeah.
Bye. This is Steve Uncle Creepy Barton signing off.
Dread Central theme composed and performed by deadhousemusic.com.